My name is Ravi Jain. Somebody asked me, are you getting swearing in? I said, no, I'm getting swearing out. Today is my last day here. As a president, not here, but as a president. But thank you very much. Our membership committee chair came just in time, 6:30, but since we had good gathering here, a lot of people starting early. So we want to make sure everybody, before you leave or when you have time, please register your name so that we know who all is there and we can keep you on our mailing list in future. Please. Okay. Thank you. This is our last meeting of the year and the Christmas meeting. We always do big Christmas spread here. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to ask Ms. Kathy Morgan, or the official chaplain of the Corrin County Republican Party. Please come to the podium and kindly do the invocation.
Where's John? He's here somewhere. Well, anyway, my good friend John Myers is coming in as the president of this club, and I know he's going to do wonderful, wonderful things. So thank you for asking me to come tonight. This is a great privilege for me to come to this historic organization. So, and I'm seeing so many friends I haven't seen in a long time, so I got to get out more. If you don't mind, to please bow your head. Father God, we just thank you for the freedoms we have. We thank you that we can celebrate Christmas openly, that we can come and go as we please, that we're able to meet in groups, that we're able to praise your name openly and freely. So many people in the world don't have these freedoms and these privileges, and I know I'm probably not the only one that can take them for granted. I just want to praise you for this wonderful men's club we have here in Collin County. I thank you for the great officers, incoming officers that are going to be sworn in tonight. Thank you for the service of the 2021 officers that have done a superb job for this organization who will be going out. Be with us, Lord. Give us the heart in the eyes of you so that we can focus on you instead of ourselves. This time of year, it should be about you, but we get so busy and try to cram so much in a very short period of time. We get worn out and haggard, and that's not the spirit of Christmas. Give us a chance to look at you. Give us the peace of mind to know that you are with us always. We are not alone in this crazy, crazy world we live in. Give your wisdom to John and the other officers to represent the Republican Party well, and to also that you will give your eyes and your spirit to them so that they can make great decisions honoring you as they proceed forward. I thank you, Lord, again, and it's in your name we ask all of this. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kathy Morgan. Very good invocation. Now I would like our club's Sergeant at Arms, Randy Johnson, please come and salute the U.S. flag.
You'll stand with me and honor the U.S. flag. The greatest country. Amen. God's green earth. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Randy. And I will now request Mark Reed, our past chairman of the Corrin County Republican Party, to please salute the Texas flag.
Please join me in the pledge to our Texas flag.
I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. And before we go to the rest of the agenda tonight, I want you to know this is our Christmas party. We always have a big spread of food here. And today's is courtesy of our Sergeant Tom Randy Johnson, done an enormous job.
Can't take responsibility for that. My wife brought all that up here.
The truth comes out.
There you go, brother.
I always say it's Randy Johnson with his wife, service, his very precious wife. She's always serving together with him. Thank you. Okay. Today is the last day for me, and we have to welcome the new committee for the year 2022. So I'm just going to start the full program for the next year's committee. Let me introduce they are in reverse order. So I'm going to start as I give the name. Could you please start coming from that side this way? First is Delar Heights. Where do you want them to stand? Yes.
Outside.
He is our this year's webmaster, and we have decided to promote him to be the technology director.
You get a pay raise?
That's a private matter. Next is, we realize technology director is really a two-man's job. He's been really busy this year. He needs some help. So we also have Bobby Tillman. Please, Bobby, come here as assistant technology director of the club.
Expect some good things on the website.
Next, we have Mark Reed as Sergeant at Arms. And then we have Sergeant at Arms J.J. Miller. Now, how did it come about that we have two Sergeant at Arms? Well, 2021, we had two. First was Steve. He worked pretty hard. And then he got in the job, and he said, I don't like to do anything unless I can deliver 120%. And this job really requires 120%. He said he'll continue to do, but he cannot put as much time. So we had another sergeant last year, Randy Johnson. So we had two. We realized it requires really two people. That's why we had two here. Together, they're going to do double the job in getting all this food and put this place in order. Next, we have Tim McCall. Our treasurer. Always our treasurer. A good treasurer. He performs, he keeps track of every penny meticulously, and we need that. Secretary of the club, Abraham George, please. Who also happened to be the chairman of the Collin County Republican Party. Only difference is chairman is he has to win as elected position. But this one is appointed position. Equally important, maybe more. Okay. Wendell Brock. Please. VP Membership Committee. office work.
You're trying to.
I know he's going. He's shooting. He's doing a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, a lot of keeping track of everybody who comes and who goes. Okay, next is VP of Program Committees, Mark Rutledge. And next position really is very important because when I had some issues I could not come, the current President-elect really stood up there and really did a tremendous job to help me out. So we have President-elect. And finally, the most important person tonight, that I'm so proud to be demitting this office and having this guy come over, take a charge. He probably can do 10 times better job than me. John Myers, please. Now, we have like 10 people here, and we are very fortunate to have Honorable Judge, District Judge, George Flint, who was so kind to give me the oath of this office last time. We're very fortunate to have George Flint, Judge George Flint. Please come to the podium. Thank
you. Before we get started swearing them in, I want you to note something. First of all, the entire leadership team is up here, and I think that's because they have 2 sergeants at arms. So if you'll raise your right hand, please. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the
office of, state your position,
of the office of Vice President of Programs
of the Collin County Republican Men's Club, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I will ask our new president, please come in. Take charge. Do the introduction of the office holders.
Thank you, Robbie. How about a big round of applause for Robbie County? And Robbie, don't go too far because we have a special something for you in just a few minutes. Okay, so by the way, I'm aware that there is another event going on, and I'll let all the candidates know and office holders that are planning to go there in just a few minutes. You'll have an opportunity to have a minute to come forward, introduce yourselves here, and then if you need to go to the other event, you're more than welcome to do that. But of course, you're also welcome to stay here. So your choice there. So first of all, it's very humbling. I'd like to tell you very humbling to become the next president and president of this organization. You know, the Collin County Republican Men's Club has been in consistent, ongoing organization for more than 50 years in Collin County. With more than 50 years of consecutive time, from the beginning, our organization has been supporting and has been in the forefront of supporting traditional conservative principles of the Republican Party. These principles include individual freedom, limited government, limited taxation, the rule of law, supporting our military and make sure that we have peace through strength, we support real fiscal responsibility and accountability. We support free markets and capitalism and absolutely oppose socialism. And we support human dignity because we know that all people are created equal in the eyes of God. Those are the fundamental principles that the Collin County Republican Men's Club support. If you're not a member, by the way, if that sounds like something you'd like to be a part of, we are here for you. We would welcome you, and we encourage you to join the Collin County Republican Men's Club. You don't have to be a man to join, by the way. This is all open for men and women only.
We'd probably take children if they say that.
We might listen. So, I just wanted to let you know something. This evening, we are extremely honored to have 8 current and/or former chairmen of the Collin County Republican Party in the House tonight. We have never had something like that in all the 30-plus years I've been involved with. We've never had that many folks together. As they used to say in the old school, this is going to be a Kodak moment. So grab your cameras, because I'm going to recognize right now, and it's very appropriate that these folks are here this evening in honor of the ongoing efforts of the Collin County Republican Men's Club. First of all, I'd like to recognize and have come forward the current chairman of the Collin County Republican Party and also a member of the Men's Club and an officer, Abraham George. Please come. Also, I'd like to ask to come forward our immediate past chairman of the Collin County Republican Party is also a former Collin County Commissioner, and he's also an officer in the Collin County Republican Men's Club. Mark Reed, please come forward. Chairman from 2014 all the way through 2019, and a current elected state district judge, former chairman George Flint, please come forward. Chairman from 2008 through 2014, and currently an elected member of the Collin County College Board of Trustees, Fred Moses, please come forward. Former Collin County Commissioner and former chairman of the Collin County Republican Party from 2005 to 2008, Kathy Ward, please come forward. I'm telling you, it's only getting better and better, right? Chairman all the way back from 1992 through 1997, the Honorable Jerry Yancey, please come forward. Chairman and the longest serving county chairman in the history of the Collin County Republican Party from 1984 through 1991. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jerry Madden. And finally, a lot of times we like to save perhaps the best for last. Chairman all the way back from 1972 through 1974, and a former judge in Collin County, still a judge actually, practicing judge in Collin County. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to stand not only for this gentleman, but for all these people. Judge Nathan White, please come forward. On your feet, everybody, round of applause for these ladies and gentlemen. It is very appropriate folks, if you realize the history that what you see right here. And folks, just stand here for a minute because this is going to be some pictures. This is going to be put all over the Collin GOP website. This is going to be going on Facebook everywhere. So if you're not used to that, get ready. You're going to be hitting a lot of likes on that. So folks, there they are. This represents a brain trust of Republican politics like you would never believe. These are the folks, these are the ones that made Collin County the reddest county in the state of Texas. These are the guys that spent years and thousands of hours working. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here on behalf of the Collin County Republican Men's Club. This was long overdue, getting all of you together. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your service to America, to Texas, and to Collin County. And one more just moment here, we have Robbie that would like to make just one additional comment.
Additional history. Our president, John Myers, just said this club is Collin County Republicans Men's Club. The members are all men and ladies and women. And it's my pleasure, my honor to tell you that I was first person who inducted First Lady in this club, who happened to be here today, Susan Fletcher. Thank you, Susan. That was a big picture that I wasn't well aware of, so very good. So ladies and gentlemen, we're here this evening celebrating, obviously, Christmas, but also there is an election going on that's going to be having the primary on March 1st, Tuesday, March 1st. Early voting begins in about 60 days, thereabouts. And I would like to have, if you are a current office holder, whether you're running or not, or if you are a candidate for office, please begin to make a line right over here, if you would, please. We're going to have you right over here, and you'll have maximum of 1 minute. Okay, maximum. If it's less than that, you'll probably get more applause. But we're going to have you introduce yourself, what office you're running for, or what office you hold, and we're excited that you're here this evening. Susan, come on forward. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So I'm Susan Fletcher. I'm honored to serve you on the Collin County Commissioners Court for Precinct 1, and I am going to take my full minute. And I'm here to tell you, I called Abraham this week. And if you are interested in helping, I really want to form a committee that we can vet all of the applications that came through on the other side of the aisle and make sure that they have followed what the law says, how long they had to live in the district, all of those things, and if they filed with a petition, especially with signatures, they turned in only 700 and that's all they needed. It just takes one to get off the ballot. So if we can save some of our Republican candidates from having to run against someone from the other side of the aisle, it is worth it, because then we turn that Republican into a worker for all of us in November. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Duncan Webb. I'm also a county commissioner, but I'm county commissioner for Precinct 4, which is down here in Plano, Central Plano, West Plano, City of Dallas, Collin County, and my newest addition to my precinct is West Allen. And I would appreciate your support. I do not have a primary opponent, but I have 2 Democratic opponents in November. So I appreciate your support, and I very much support Commissioner Fletcher's auditing of the petitions, because both of my opponents filed petitions instead of filing these.
Hello everyone, I'm Shelby Williams. I'm privileged to serve on Plano City Council. I am not actually going from here to another party. I'm going to pick up my daughter. I just came from another party, but I'm glad to stop by. The oath which Judge Flint just administered to the officers of the Collin County Republican Men's Club is an oath which, in one form or another, every elected official across America takes. Most forget it very quickly. So I would like to encourage everyone in this room, I'm not on a ballot this year, by the way, I would like to encourage everyone in this room to consider running for something: school board, city council, county commissioners court. If you don't want to run yourself, think of people you do know who would want to run, people who will adhere to that oath, people who will honor it and respect it and uphold and preserve the Constitution of the United States and of this state. Thank you. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Jolly, and I am running for House District 70. I've been a 20-plus year resident here in Plano. I see a lot of familiar faces. Former CEO and president of the Plano Chamber of Commerce, and I've also served my community by working with the Education Foundation in the public school systems here. And I'm really looking forward to serving you and learning more about your issues, and I hope that I can earn your vote. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Matt Rostami. I'm an eye surgeon. I do retina surgery, so hopefully I never have to see any of you guys. I'm running for a state senate on the platform of we need to expand the Republican Party to reach out to ethnic minorities, religious minorities, and most importantly, the youth. We got a few here. We're going to need more than that. Because I've seen a disturbing trend, and if we don't demographically expand the party, we will demographically go extinct. So I hope you guys take a consideration to my candidacy. I'm Dr. Matt Rostami. Thank you.
Doc, I recently got hearing aids so I can see fine. Folks, I'm Judge Raleigh in Precinct 1, Justice of the Peace. I've been your Justice of the Peace up there for about 23 years. I'm running for re-election. Can I quickly just see a show of hands if you live in Fairview, McKinney, Melissa, or Anna? Those of you who want a yard sign, I have on good authority that a re-elect Raleigh sign in your yard will raise your property value. But I want to tell you, I've been humbled to work for you for the last 23 years. Thank you very much for that opportunity, and I'd like to work for you more. Please vote for me. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm C.D. Mayfield. I'm running for Justice of the Peace Precinct 1 as well. I'm a 4-year Marine Corps veteran, currently a police officer at a city inside Collin County, been so for 23 years, been a detective since 2003. I look forward to meeting everybody and hopefully getting your votes. If you got any questions, feel free to approach me. I'm very approachable and I'm looking forward to doing this. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Get that holiday spirit going. My name is Frederick Fraser. I'm currently on City Council in McKinney, Texas, at large, but I'm not running for that spot. I'm running for HD 61, the brand new district in Collin County that's over in McKinney. So it goes McKinney, Frisco, goes up to Salina, comes back to Weston, hits Anna, Melissa, and comes back down to McKinney. So I'm a current police officer. I've been one for 27 years. I've done all of our legislation for law enforcement for the last 16 years. That's back and forth to the Capitol on my own time. I wrote the defunding bill that you guys see. Everybody liked that defunding bill, so they can't defund our officers. Yeah, it's a pretty good bill. It got picked up because I was on President Trump's crime commission. I was the only commissioner that the president put on there in the entire nation for the state of Texas. So I was pretty proud of being on there because thousands of names went up and one name stayed, and it was mine. I'm running right now. I'd love to have your vote. I'd love to have the whole thing is about putting us together. We've got to stay red, we've got to stay positive, and we've got to keep Texas the way it is right now, and just make the folks that be here be the ones that vote for us. I stumbled a little at the end, but I started off hot. I think my wife's like, we've got to go, because this is our 4th thing we have to go to. Thank y'all very much. God bless Texas, and please see my website, FraserForTexas.com. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith Self. I was your county judge here for 12 years and 25 years in the Army before that. I've been living the life of Riley for 3 years, but I'm back for obvious reasons if you're paying any attention at all. So I'm back. I'm running for Congressional District 3, which lost part of western Collin County, but added most of Hunt County. So we've got some new virgin territory out there. Keith Self, running in CD3. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Randy Johnson. I am a proud member of this club. I'm an outgoing officer. I am the husband at the end of this month of Kelly Ann Johnson for 41 years. She brought the food. I did not bring the food. I am running for County Court at Law number 5 judge. It is a general jurisdiction court. It hears both civil and criminal cases. I'm the only candidate in this race that has extensive experience doing both civil and criminal cases. I am board certified in 3 areas. There's less than 100 people out of the 100,000 attorneys in Texas that are board certified, multiple board certified. And I started out in the DA's office in Dallas, and I handle everything from DWIs to capital murder cases. I've tried just about every kind of case you can try. I've tried cases in at least 24 different counties, and I am the most experienced for this. It's the right experience for the right choice. So please check out my website, voterandyforjudge.com. Thank you for being here, and Merry Christmas.
Good evening. I'm Hayden Paget. I am running for Texas State House in District 70, which is one of the new districts down here in Plano. And rather than talking about myself, I actually was jogged a memory about a story because Judge Nathan White's here. I was talking with Dixie Clem earlier last weekend, and she was relating to me the story of how we took over as Republicans Collin County, which happened when that man was elected in 1974, almost 50 years ago. And I thought it was an interesting parallel to what's going on now, because back then there was a turning of the tide and a bunch of young activists flipped the county. And now we're at a moment where the county is about to wiggle a little bit, it might flip back the other way. And so I think it's a great time for all the young activists to come back again, and all of you guys are young at heart, to keep this county Republican for another 50 years. So hope you guys talk to Judge White in the back there and ask him about his time flipping this county. With that, have a good night.
Thank you. My name is Liddell Buggs. I'm actually Texas born and bred. I have been here for 30 plus years. I met my wife 14 years ago here locally. And we have 2 beautiful little girls, and yes, my guns are ready. I've been able to build a pretty successful business in Richardson, 35 million plus in real estate development and finance. I thought it was time for me to infuse some business wisdom into governing, because I'm very interested in saving the legacies of my family and my kids. So I'm running for the legacies of my kids and yours. So if you guys could, there's some push cards here on the chairs. Look me up, check me out a little bit. You guys have a good night.
All those stories are pretty extraordinary. I'm celebrating 6 months of marriage, and my new wife. All right, very good. I'm Fred Moses, and I serve on the Collin County as a trustee, and our college, community college, touches all over this county, and we've made extraordinary growth, and it has an extraordinary record of serving businesses and serving the citizens of Collin County. And so again, I encourage you to check us out if you need any training or any help in learning anything, but we're pretty extraordinary. So Collin County, we prior to COVID, we had 60,000 students. We have about a little bit less than that now, but we still have a lot of students. So come, there's room for you. Amen? Thank you very much.
Howdy, I'm standing tall for Don Huffines tonight, who is running for governor. And 1 month ago, you might remember, I talked about protecting the border. Tonight, I'd like to mention buying down the property taxes in this state to 0 over a span of 8 years by dedicating the surplus through a constitutional amendment. And that is Don's plan to remove your property tax burden. And it is the second reason why we must vote for Don Huffines for governor. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vince Benigoni. I'm running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4. I've been a resident of Collin County since 1976. I've been working as a reserve police officer for 39 years. I've been in the court that I'm running for office for 10, which I donated over 18,000 hours to. And then another 12 years to the city of Salina. And I hope to be your Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, and follow Judge Arborough and do a good job for you. Please vote.
You're probably tired of seeing me, but George Flint, Judge of the Coroner first. Now, the reason I'm last is I want to talk to you about the judges who are running. I'm not.
That way my dad can watch.
All right. This time. There's a fact that when you realize what it is, it's absolutely extraordinary. During COVID, during the bulk of COVID, at a time in Dallas County with 3 to 4 times more courts than Collin County has, they tried zero jury trials. During that same time in Harris County, which has easily 3 times courts that Collin County has, they tried 5 jury trials. During that same period of time in Collin County, your judges, including me, tried over 25 jury trials. We didn't shut down during COVID. We're not shut down now. Everybody was safe that came and served at Collin County. I don't think there's a single instance of anybody getting COVID while they served on a jury in Collin County. And we did it with fewer resources, more hard work, and more trust in the system and more ability than any other county in the state of Texas. That's who you need to re-elect, because I promise you the Democrats are not putting up the same quality that you have in your judiciary here in Collin County. That's right.
So ladies and gentlemen, you got to admit, we got a strong field of candidates out there, wouldn't you say? Absolutely. As most of you know, the theme for this evening's Christmas party is American Greatness, the Untold Story. There are many things that make America great. Our strong and great military, our economic system, based of course on capitalism, our rich Judeo-Christian belief system. Can't forget the American work ethic, obviously makes us great. Our freedom of speech, our freedom of worship makes us great. However, there are at least a couple key factors that many times get overlooked when talking about what makes America great. 2 of those factors include, first, the factor that American people are compassionate, and that makes us great. Another factor is our ability to pursue the truth. In many countries around the world, you cannot pursue the truth. The government won't let you. The military perhaps orders you not to. You cannot seek, even on the internet. In many countries, it's controlled. In fact, many countries, there is no internet. So you see, we have compassionate people, and we have the ability to pursue the truth. So tonight, we have some brief stories about the compassion of the American people, and also about the truth, seeking the truth. At least in this case, seeking the truth of an election, presidential election, no, not of last year, but of 1960. Jack Kennedy versus Richard Nixon. But first, let me introduce to you a gentleman who is genuinely one of the good guys in Collin County. He has been a long time Republican activist. He is known across this county as the Sign Man. So we all know who that is, don't we? Janice, you got a great husband. Fred, you got a great wife. Fred has single-handedly installed and put up more campaign signs for Republican candidates than any other individual in the history of Collin County. And the fact that many people don't know is that Fred Nazareth has been a member of the Texas Baptist Men for years and years, and does that work in addition to all those signs he puts up. Tonight, he is going to talk to you about the compassionate work that the Texas Baptist Men does across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to you Mr. Fred Nazareth.
Well, Texas Baptist Men, it's not just men. We have ladies, a lot of ladies joining the team. In Collin County, we have about 5,000 volunteers. And all of them are men and women together. We have one chainsaw unit in Collin County, one mother unit. That's in Collin County. Different counties in Texas, they have a chainsaw unit, they have mother unit, they have the shower unit and box unit, which it is right now. They are in, they went up north to take some boxes, empty boxes. They distribute them, give them to different people, and if they needed to pack their belongings, whatever they have. So I've been volunteering in Texas Baptist Men for 13 years. Always people, they ask me, how you wind up being Texas Baptist Men? I told them I just worked with a lady. We retired together, and one day she told me she wanted it. She had a tree in her backyard. Can I cut it for her? I said, yes. She knew I had a chainsaw. And a week later, I didn't hear from her. I called her. She said, you won't believe it. My son-in-law, his fireman, he told me that Texas Baptist Men, 6, 7 old men. She said, they came. In 45 minutes, that tree was gone. I said, give me their number. So, since then, I volunteered with them 3 years. I was doing a feeding unit. Then I joined the chainsaws. I've been with the chainsaw unit the rest of the time. There are several, as I said, there are several groups. In chainsaw, mother. In Collin County, we have mother also. Mother, what it is, when houses flooded, that unit goes, they clean inside the house, cut the sheetrock, whatever needs to be done, they do it. So these 2 units we have in Collin County. And Dallas County, they have a shower unit, which is my favorite. They have a real good shower unit. The shower unit that every day once we come back from work, we have to take shower. And in Dallas County, their unit is excellent. The others, they're good. They have 6 units in the trailer, but Dallas has 4 more space. So let's see what else. We have some slides here. What we do, and go ahead there. Next one? Yes, sir. This is a tree had fallen on a house, split it in half. What we do when we go, we have a man lift, we call it man lift. We get in there and go remove the tree from the houses. I forgot where it was, this one, but it's somewhere in Texas. This one was somewhere in East Texas. And next one. These are a few of our fellows, and there's my leader from Plano, right there, the second man with the hat, yellow hat on. And the rest of them are, the next to him is our chainsaw. He fixes our chainsaws. If they break, around trees, he'll fix it. Next. Okay, that tree, matter of fact, I cut it. And these two fellows, they came, they tried to lift it up. They are trying to yeah, that one was in East Texas also, a couple of years ago. Yeah, we have in our unit, we have several skid loaders or bobcat, whatever you call them. In our Collin County, we don't have those, but from different counties, we call them, they come join us. And always we have 1 or 2 skid loaders with us. Before we used to by hand move the branches, pile them somewhere, but now we have that. It just makes it much easier for us to do the work, and it's much faster. Okay, next. There it is, we cut in that big tree, and once you cut that root ball, a lot of time goes back, stands up, and that's that. I guess that's me. I'm not sure. Go ahead, next. Yeah. That's the kind of work we do. Remove the big trees out of houses. Or one experience, about a couple of months ago, we went to Orange, Texas. There was a house, big old tree had fallen on their house, a brand new pickup. And 2 days after that, her husband wound up in the hospital with heart attack. And it was that day when we took care of whatever problem she had, we removed it. And when she came, she saw that, and she just looking on her face, we could tell, you know, how happy she was. And that's what we do. And it gives us pleasure to see helping somebody that is in need. And, our chairman of the chainsaw unit, he lives here in Collin County also. He's the one leader for the entire Texas. Whenever he calls different units from different counties in Texas, he's the one he makes call which unit goes to work first. Let's say if hurricane hit today, in 2 days he will send the teams. He will decide which team to go to do the work. And let's see. Is there any more pictures? That's it. Yes. So you see what happened, and these are the trees we cut next to houses, and hopefully we haven't had any damages. You know, sometimes trees never know where they go, how they fall, especially inside if it is hollow. If it is hollow, you don't know it's inside the tree, it's hollow. When you start cutting it, it's really dangerous. But what we do is we rig way on top of the tree, we rig it to the skid loader, and skid loader put pressure on it, then we cut it, it comes right away. Okay, any question? You know, I'm not a specialist in, you know, all what they do, but the website is tdmtx.org. If you sign in, you'll get a lot of information, and you can find out more about the headquarters of TDM. It's in Dallas, right around Highway 30 and 80, somewhere around there. They have huge, we have ordered huge storage unit, offices, and you name it, they have it for disaster relief. But there is another unit I failed to mention, is feeding unit. Feeding unit, they can cook from 2,000 meals a day up to 30,000 meals a day. And what we do, if it is big hurricane, there's more big need, we use 12 tilt skillet, they call them tilt skillet. Each skillet cooks up to 30 gallons. And we load them in the cameras and give them to Red Cross. Red Cross goes all over town and feed the people.
Fantastic.
Fred, if you would, I'd like you to turn so you can see this on the, this is one of the shirts that they would wear normally. It says Texas Baptist Convention, Southern Baptist Convention, Disaster Relief, Texas.
But this is when we travel. But when we work, we have yellow shirt and you know, but yellow, mostly yellow shirt. But this is for travel.
And Fred, can we ask you how old you are?
I'm 78, almost 79.
Wow. Tonight we have a very special presentation from two ladies from an outstanding organization that is going to really touch your heart. I'm going to let them talk about what they do and the organization they're with, but I'd like you to welcome right now two board members from Foster Friends of Collin County, Terry Green and Susan Etheridge.
Thank you, John. First of all, I hope you don't ask me my age. I can tell you that, that's for sure. Anyway, oh, there you are. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight about foster friends. We're talking about compassion and whatnot. Regarding Foster Friends as an organization, you say, well, who are we? We work in conjunction with the Child Protective Services Board. How many people know about the Child Protective Services Board? Right? You hear sometimes not good things about the CPS board, but I want to tell you that we are an organization that has compassion for the children that are in foster care here in Collin County. We are comprised of 15 board members. Now first, to be on the Child Protective Services Board, you have to be appointed by the county judge and the Collin County Commissioners. We started out, when I was on the board, I'm going on my 13th year there. We started out with 9, and then we added a few more. Now we're up to 15. So if you're already on the CPS board, then you automatically roll over to the Foster Friends board. And we have an actual budget for CPS, but sometimes we don't have enough money to be used for the children. For example, our budget for children who are in care is $350 per year for a clothing allowance. Now think about that. Could you live off $350 a year? So, but that's our budget that we've set for each child because we have so many children. So we started a Foster Friends, which is a 501c3 made of those same individuals that are on CPS, go over to the Foster Friends board, and we raise money. And our vision is for all children to be living in a loving, nurturing, safe family and community, enjoying good health and well-being. We also want them to be integrated into the community like the other children. So we do special things for them. But I'm going to tell you a few facts that you may not know. And I'm going to use the date of 2019 because, of course, 2020 with COVID, we can't get as much information as we did in 2019. There are, and this is in Collin County, 288 children living in foster care. 18.5 enter foster care each month. 41% are cared for by relatives. We, as the board members, we are the steward of their funds. North Texas Giving Day gives us some funds. We get small grants, donations from groups, individuals, and jury donations. So we can use those funds to help supplement what we can't get through the Child Protective Services Board. We also use those funds to host annual events. We want these children not only have the clothing that they wear and the activities, but we also want them to be able to participate in things such as a main event. We'll run out main event one Saturday afternoon for 3 or 4 hours. They come, bring their siblings, their parents, their foster parents, and they get to play games. And they get to be like any other child who's having a birthday party there. We also rent out Studio Movie Grill. We'll have them, same thing, come, give them pizza and let them watch a movie. We've had events at the Texas Legends, games there, and we also host CPS appreciation luncheons because we're very thankful for the CPS individuals who help these children when they remove them from the homes. We also have annual events that we actually sponsor. We sponsor the Advocacy Center, Holiday Project, and our big one is the Back to School Fair, where we purchase over 700 or 800 pairs of shoes per year to donate. So when the Children's Advocacy Center has their annual Back to School Fair, we purchase these shoes, and you cannot imagine the happiness you see on a child when they get to go in there their very first time and pick out a shoe that's sitting on a rack, and they get to pick it out and take it to themselves. It doesn't cost them any money, but some of these children have never had a new pair of shoes ever. And they've been removed from home to home to home to put in different foster care homes all around. So they've never had an opportunity to have anything that belongs to themselves. We also give them, like I said, the $350 allowance. But sometimes, you know, that's just not enough. So what else do we use our money for? When a child is going to be graduating from high school, we buy them a computer. And I can tell you, we have several board members here tonight that serve on Foster Friends. John Myers is one of them. Unfortunately, he's going to be rolling off because he's your new president, but I'm going to convince him he needs to stay on, that's for sure. Susan Etheridge is another one, you're going to hear from her. Sue Reeves is another one that serves on both our CPS and our Foster Friends board. And it's people like that you know they're out there in the community that are doing what needs to be done for these children. We pay for driver's ed, because these foster parents that are taking care of these children, they don't have a lot of money to pay for that. iPads for any autistic teenager, emergency shelter if someone's removed, a child's been removed in the middle of the night because of abuse or neglect or something. We have to pay for emergency shelter, we have to pay for them to go somewhere. Speech therapy for a preschooler who's never had any education when they were smaller. Cribs and bedding for infants has been removed on suspicion of abuse. When a police officer gets there and they see this, we have to take that child. CPS goes and takes that child immediately, and we have to have something to put them in if they're a little tiny baby. Reading, tutoring. We are very big on education. We want these children, when they go into a public school or a high school, an elementary school, preschool, we want them to be acclimated. We want them to have as much education and to be right on the same level as other children. So we'll pay for their tutoring. Urgent drug testing to prevent a child from being returned to an unsafe home. We may have a parent that the police officer has said, you know, there's someone out here who's probably on drugs, and so we will pay for emergency testing so we don't return that child back to that home. This is the most rewarding board, CPS board and the Foster Friends board that I have ever had the privilege and honor of serving on, because I know the work that we do really, really impacts these children. And I'm going to ask Susan to come up, and she's going to tell you actually some stories that we've had to come across during our time period that we've been there at Foster Friends.
You know, as I think about, I have spent over 35 years working with abused and neglected children. And I suspect that most of you, when you hear about a child being abused or neglected, you're sad, maybe you're angry, and maybe you say, somebody ought to do something about that. Well, we do something about that. So, as Terry told you, sometimes it's the normal things that you do for your children. Tutoring, soccer, baseball, stuff that you do. But sometimes the children that come to us have had, we say they come from hard places, and they have had a tough time in life. I don't know if you've been reading, but it's not just Collin County, but Collin County is not accepted. There aren't enough foster homes. And the kids used to sleep on cots in the CPS offices. Well, the governor put a stop to that. But the problem is there's still not enough foster homes. So these children are now in hotels. There are 2 children right now, and I want you to know what kind of children we deal with. There are 2 children right now. One's 12, one's 10, little boys, and they are profoundly autistic. So they have been, I don't know how familiar you are with autism, but autistic kids need a structure, and they need the same thing day after day after day. So, whoops. So these children are living in a hotel, and they've got nothing. Nothing. So when they come to us and say, can we have an iPad for the child that doesn't speak so that he can communicate his needs, we say, you bet. So I want you to think about John and Michael. We take care of John and Michael. There's a little girl, and she's 5, and she's been sexually abused by her father since she was 2. And she comes to us, and she wants a special doll. So we do that. We get a special doll for Amanda. And I hear Amanda, I happen to be there when she gets the doll from her caseworker. And I happen to hear her, and she says, Dolly, I'm your mama, and I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to make sure nobody hurts you. And if you get abused, I'm going to believe you. And then I want to tell you about Mary. Mary had a physical abuse, terrible incident, and now she has brain injury. And the doctor said Mary needs this special helmet that can protect her brain if should she fall, because her coordination's not good anymore. And we can take care of her by getting her this helmet. Well, Medicaid doesn't pay for it, and it's very expensive. So her foster parents can't pay for it. And they come to us, and they say, Mary needs this helmet. And then they show us that the foster parents, trying to do the best they can to protect this child, has made a helmet out of styrofoam and duct tape. Do we pay for that helmet? You bet. You bet we do. So I want you to know that we take care of Mary and Amanda and the little boys in the hotel. And so the next time you hear about abused children, I want you to be sad, and I want you to be angry. I'm angry. I've done it 35 years, and I'm real angry sometimes. But I want you to say, instead of somebody ought to do something about that, I want you to say, what can I do about that? Thanks.
Thank you all so very, very much. The compassion of the American people in action in Collin County. Finally, we have a student that is visiting here, made a special trip back for obviously Christmas and other events, but all the way from Lubbock, Texas. What great university is out in Lubbock, Texas? That's right, Texas Tech University. One of the things that makes America great is that we have the ability to pursue the truth. When that's taken away from us, as big tech is trying to do, we begin to get angry. We begin to wake up. But that is a key function of a free and open society is to be able to pursue the truth. America, we can still do it. And I'm very pleased to let you know that this evening we have a great history buff, as well as a student majoring in business administration. And Michael, as his dad likes to say, that they many times have the best political discussions that a Generation Z and a baby boomer can have. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me a great young man, Michael Nowak, talking about the 1960 election between John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Richard Nixon.
Because I'm young, I'd be good with this stuff, but unless it's an iPhone, I don't know what I'm doing.
Put the mic up.
Oh, further like this? Okay.
All the way up.
See?
Almost like your
All the way up. Better? Okay. Alright. Sorry, guys. Alright. So, good evening, everyone. As Mr. Myers just introduced me, my name is Michael Nowak. I'm a first-year student at Texas Tech. And if you recognize my last name, I'm actually the son of your president-elect now, Eric Nowak, sitting back there, making sure that I'm not going to embarrass him for anything.
You go, boy.
You think you'd be my class?
Embarrass away.
But anyways, so tonight I'm going to be talking about the 1960 election. Now, many of you might not even be born for that. You would have had to be 81 years old to have even been able to vote in that election. Are you alive or? Alive? That's something at least. And you don't get a day over 30, or even 18.
Got a politician.
That's the goal. Vote for me, 2040. I'll save the country. So, anyways, like I said, I'm talking about that election and the relatively unknown voter fraud accusations done against the Kennedy campaign. Because somewhere to 2020, the Democrats like getting 2 a.m. voter dumps. Anyways, so to start off with a kind of interesting quote by the democracy respecter Joseph Stalin, of all people. It is not the voters that decide anything, but it's those who count the votes that decide everything. And much like 2020, there are lots of honestly disturbing parallels between this election and what happened last year, of course, the most safe and secure election ever. Next slide. All right, so purpose. And just a disclaimer too, I had to have this because for a college presentation that I had. In class, they won't let you have any opinion other than what's allowed, so I had to make sure I wasn't hurting anyone's feelings or anything. But anyways, so for many decades now, a lot of people have been debating this, particularly scholars of the subject, on if this election had any real significant fraud. And it's so fairly unknown, I'd say, like, I'm sure most of you hadn't even heard of it until tonight. And there are lots of voter fraud accusations against the Kennedy campaign at this time, and based on just the swing states of Texas and Illinois, it's very likely that was an impactful factor. And many of the allegations that were given against the Kennedy campaign also really are very parallel to what was given against the Biden campaign recently. So for some context, 1960, like I said, was a long time ago. For context, the Detroit Lions were a relevant football team back then. And actually won a playoff game that year. Funny enough. No offense to Detroit fans, sorry guys. Tom Landry was coaching his first season for the Cowboys, first of 20 successful seasons straight. And Joe Biden was starting his career of wasting your tax dollars in Congress and being very strange with sniffing women. And unnecessary language, very strange man, powerful people are here. So, for getting back to the main point though, the margin of victory across the whole country was only 113,000 votes. That's less than the margin was even just in Texas this year. And the major issues were foreign policy, the economy, and Kennedy's age as well as his religion. He was thought of as very young, and they really hated that he was a Catholic, since back then religion was still a very hot button issue. And this was also election of many firsts, such as the first of televised debates, which back then were actually civil, not just two old men yelling at each other. And then also Alaska and Hawaii were this was their first election to be eligible states in the Electoral College, since before this, they were just like essentially colonies. So on election night, this is where the climax really happens. So the race was very tight up to this point, with the final weeks being known with Nixon's kind of comeback moment after being behind in the polls, with the final like election day polls being with just less than 1/10% between the two candidates. It was razor thin. And all through the night, it was pretty close, with the popular vote margin never reaching 50,000 to 100,000 votes in favor of either candidate. However, early the next morning, the Kennedys' lead had narrowed, with notable margins being mostly in Texas and Illinois, which both states could swing the election either way. Similar to 2020, though, things happen at 2 o'clock in the morning, because some things never change, like the Democrats and their love for miraculous voter dumps in the most important times, in ironically the major cities. That just happens. Yeah, luck. Oh, one more thing on the other side. Interesting thing, you can look at the map, how different it was. California was red. That's been like that like 30 years. And Texas was blue. And California had 45 electoral votes instead of like 28 like it has now. And West Virginia was blue too. Like weird stuff. How it's just interesting to look how it changed. And then this also you can see that picture right there. This was also one of the first elections too, with like on election night, the numbers are coming in so you could watch your like TV, and for the first time in like, the entire history of the country up to that point, you could tell which way your state was going to go. So I didn't put all of the evidence of fraud up here because that'd be way too much for you guys to read. So I'll just read it here. So in Texas, multiple counties across the state, there were events of overcounting in many counties. Such as in Fannin County, there were 4,985 registered voters, yet they recorded somehow 6,138 votes, with 75% being for Kennedy. Now, considering Texas at this time was more of a Dixiecrat kind of blue, like pre-Blue Dog Democrat kind of place, it kind of makes sense. But considering what they did after the election, they went in, it was seen as mathematically impossible. And this, considering polls and party registration in that county. And this occurred over multiple counties too. I'm just counting just one important one, or interesting one. And similar, direct parallel to 2020, in Harris County with Houston, there were arrests with multiple poll workers accused of harvesting thousands of ballots for the Kennedy campaign. However, these charges were dropped before trial because of lack of evidence, even though there were eyewitness accounts, affidavits, and lots of other voter rolls that said that they were essentially faking it for Kennedy. Now, Illinois is where the real interesting stuff happened though. In Cook County, which is where Chicago is located, 3 election officials were sent to jail due to charges of potentially thousands of ballots being forged for the Kennedy campaign. However, I guess now you can guess what happened. Nothing happened. They acquitted them. Charges were also brought against 650 election officials for fraudulent ballots and the use of voter rolls of dead people as Kennedy voters, such as in one house in Chicago, 58 people were registered to vote from there, and yet only 4 people actually lived there. And half of those people died before the previous century. So that doesn't make sense. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, that's one house, right? But the thing I found online, which was on, it was a pretty, don't worry, it was a real website, don't worry. I have all the sources I can show after at the end of this. But there were pages of this, pages and pages of people who were born like 1850 voting, because that makes sense, right? So that was, let's see. But these people were again acquitted on charges due to lack of evidence, and then ironically, the judge that acquitted them ended up getting a circuit judge position in the Kennedy administration and then in the LBJ administration. And he also had ties to the very trustworthy Mayor Daley in Chicago, who had been known for having a long and extremely fair election system in that city that kept the Democrats in control since like the Depression on to now. And finally, in Chicago, which was very interesting to me, on a phone call with Kennedy, Chicago's Mayor Daley on election night was quoted as telling Kennedy that in order to win Illinois, he would just need the help of a few good friends and a little luck, in that he just needed to give him a bit more time to help him out. And then like 30 minutes later, a bunch of ballots came in that put Kennedy further in the lead and kept him safe for the rest of the night. Ironically, they found from the same zip code, all for Kennedy, which made, again, mathematically no sense, because back then, Illinois was a lot closer to the state. It only went to Kennedy by 0.9% or something like that. It was very close. So those were just the major things I found. You can find this all even more too. Like, I only picked like 5 or 6 really important ones. There's like tons of this. This is a rabbit hole, honestly.
Jimmy Hoffa was involved. The mob was involved in Chicago.
Yeah, that I didn't get to get with that because I thought I wouldn't have time. But yes, the mob also was accused of being part of that too. Ironically, near like a speakeasy or something. It was very, again, weird stuff. So, sorry, I skipped something. So the significance. Many of these allegations are parallel with other subsequent election scandals, such as in 2000, where George Bush narrowly won Florida with like 300 votes or something. And then, of course, we all know in 2020, with Biden, again, winning, but, very a safe election, very fair, let's say. And if this election had gone the other way, America would have probably been a very different place, considering Nixon, while on like social issues like civil rights, he was fairly the same. On other things like how to deal with the Vietnam War, or subsequent things such as the Hart-Celler Act of 1965 and immigration, he would have been very different, probably a lot more strict on that kind of stuff, and more socially conservative, which, I mean, probably would have been better in the end, but that's just me. So connections to 2020. As stated previously, a lot of these allegations leveled against the Democrat Party were done against the Biden campaign this year, or last year. However, just like 1960, nothing did change, even though there was a multitude of pretty good evidence. And some of the similarities include use of deceased voters, division in Congress over this issue, corrupt judges in courts, which basically ignored pretty explicit evidence, ballot harvesting, big city political machines swinging entire elections in entire states, and then arrests of individuals conspiring to harvest ballots for specific candidates. Now, if any of this sounds familiar, it's what was rumored to happen with pretty good evidence in states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, I could go on, in 2020. So in conclusion, we will probably truly never know the full extent to which fraud was committed on either side of this election. However, it's likely that it ultimately aided in the final outcome that remains relevant even today, especially with what happened in 2020. The amounts of similarities with this election and what happened last year are pretty disturbing, honestly, and emphasize how, one, it's very important to have the free movement of information so that I can talk about things like this. In other countries, you couldn't talk about this or even question this. They put you in jail or kill you, or like in China, you never be heard from again. But another important part is that we must not take for granted the system. I think that's a real key thing that we also learned from not only seeing that this could happen a long time ago, but also happened last year. And now, this has happened before a couple times, and we really need to step up our game, I think, and make sure, even if let's say this wasn't as impactful as some people may have argued, it's still the principle of it that's wrong, and that even it can happen in a place like us, which we pride ourselves on fair elections and the importance of the vote of the people and how our voice should be heard, when in fact, like Joseph Stalin ironically said, it's those who count the votes that really unfortunately decide everything. And any questions, any comments?
Folks, you're going to hear Michael Nowak, 2040 for United States Senate. There you go. Great job, Michael. Thank you. Excellent. So, folks, we're just about ready to wrap things up. However, we do have two very important things we need to do before we wrap things up. One of them, of course, is we're going to be having a visit from the man in the red suit, right? And we also would like to have Robbie Jane. Would you please come up here, please, sir? Robbie right over here so everybody can see you, okay? So folks, you guys know earlier that Robbie very graciously concluded his term for the last 2 years as president of the Collin County Republican Men's Club. And Robbie, we appreciate you did things during, I mean, it was a difficult time. COVID was very, very difficult to conduct business, to have meetings, and the men's club continued in its normal space, and it was available through Zoom. We had Zoom meetings. We also had, as you know, in-place meetings. So on behalf of the entire Collin County Republican Men's Club, I would like to present you this very beautiful plaque. It says CCRMC, which stands for, obviously, Collin County Republican Men's Club. Collin County Republican Men's Club presented to Robbie Jane, President 2020 and 2021, in recognition of your dedication, your commitment, your perseverance, and service to the Collin County Republican Men's Club. Robbie, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, John Myers. I really was not expecting all this big recognition with lots of words and all that. That's good. Thank you. What can I say? I just think about it, and yes, coronavirus was the adversary. And enemy we were working with, but it was really the support of the whole executive committee really made my job easy, honestly. It was everybody worked together, everybody kind of stuck together, and we worked. What we really proved was synergy brings a lot of energy. Everybody works synergistically, and that energy that we were able to bring together, we accomplished quite a bit. Thank you for your support. And I really don't think I did anything extraordinary. It was the team, but I gained a lot of things from being president. And as a result of that, I got exposed to a lot of people outside the club. A lot of people who I never really saw them come and join the club or visit our club. I was able to meet them and bring them to some of the people to club, which I think was a very big positive for me because I made them friends. They were just acquaintance. And some of them I can name is Bob Epstein, who hardly ever visited our club. I had it during my time 3 or 4 times. Ted Puches, Tom Klein, and Mike Giles. Some of these people were my acquaintance, but they are now my friends. And I think I gained friends. You never ever have friends. They were good friends, and not only just friends, some of them became the member of this club. Tom Klein is here. He was here earlier. He was good acquaintance, become very good friends, and I'm very, very humble that he joined our club. Thank you. And the only thing I can say is, extra thing I can say is, when things got really rough, I ran into some adversary situation. It was my partner, my partner in service, my president-elect, who stepped in August and took care of the meeting very meticulously and ran it very strong. And I also want to thank my wife, my partner in service, for giving me all the support.
Robbie, thank you. But not quite so fast. You got to stand right here. Then brought to my attention that Robbie is wearing a beautiful Christmas tie. Would you guys not agree with that? Kay, where is Kay tonight? Kay? So, Robbie, I understand that you have very generously agreed to have your tie auctioned as a little fundraiser on behalf of the Collin County Republican Men's Club. And I did take the liberty to note that just by looking at that, I could tell that was a really nice tie, Robbie. So I want to just verify something really quick here. Oh my goodness. Christian Dior, right? Yeah, absolutely. 100% all silk. So that is a nice tie, folks. So, knowing that, we're going to auction that tie right off of your neck, Robbie, right now.
Off my neck? What do you like to do?
Will you give me $5? Give me $5 bill. Give me $5. Give me $5. Give me $5. Back at $5. Give me $10. Give me $10. Give me $10. Give me $15. Give me $15. Give me $15. Whatever. I saw Richard's hand going up $15. Give me $20. Give me $20 bill. I'm looking for 20. Looking for 20. I got $15 and $20 bill right here. Looking for $25. Got $25. Looking for $30. I'm looking for $30. Give me $30. Who give me 40? Looking for $40. I'm looking for $40. I'm looking for $30 right now. Looking for $40. Who give me $40? Looking for $40. Who give me $40? I got $40 bill. Who give me $50 bill? I'm looking for a $50 bill right now. Looking for 40. I got 50. Got 50 right here. Give me $60. I got $60 right here. $100. $100. All right. Very good. All right. I'm looking for $110. I'm looking for $110. Who give me $110? $110. I got $110. Looking for $125 right now. Looking for $125. I got $125. Who give me $125 right now? Looking for $25. I got $125. Going once for $110. I got 120. No. Oh, $125.
John, $150.
$150. All right, you know what? I'm not going to go any further than that. Sold $150 right there. Nice job, excellent. Now, yeah, but not too long. Right? We got one more.
I'm a man of very few words. But I could never imagine John is an auctioneer. We need to auction his auctioneer anyhow. You know, this tie was bought for me by my gracious wife, known as Kay Jane. And when I entered this room, her other friend Kay just stopped me. One Kay bought it, other one wanted to auction it. I could not say no to her.
2 years ago,
And
I bought it and I gave it back, providing they met the price I did, and they did, so we got double.
The only other thing I can add is at the start of the year, I had told our treasurer that we will start with whatever funds, we'll end the year with the same amount of funds. And he told me we were $110 short. I think this auction made it up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Robbie. I'd like Judge Paul Riley to please come forward. Now, Judge.
I want you to know this tie is imported from Walmart.
Judge is known as always wearing some really nice ties as well.
And there's a story that goes with what's while you're thinking about the price you want to give. There was a alarm that played Jingle Bells. And I was wearing it on the bench, and my belly hit the bench, and Jingle Bells started playing there. And I just heard the noise. I didn't know what it was. And through the whole trial, I was saying, what is that noise? Finally, I got an electronic message from my clerk. She said, your tie's playing. I reached under my robe, and you could see, and I yanked that thing out. So, it's custom. It's a custom. So I opened a bid at $20.
I'm going to start off at $50. Who give me $50? $50 bill, $50. I got $50 right here. Give me $60. I got $60. I got $60. Who give me $75? Give me $75. I got $75. Give me $80. I got $80. Who give me $90? For $90 bill. $90 bill. I got $80 right here. Give me $90. Looking for $90. I got $90 right here. Who give me $100 bill? Looking for a $100 bill. Looking for a $100 bill right now. I'm looking for $100. I got $90. Looking for a $100 bill. Who give me a $100 bill? I got. Hey.
You got a safety pin.
Oh, you can't have Robbie. You can't have Robbie out tied down to yours, right? I'm looking for a $100 bill. I got $9. Looking for a $100 bill. Looking for a $100 bill. Who give me that? Who give me a $100 bill? Who give me a $100 bill right now? I got $9. I got a $100 bill right here.
Okay.
All right, very good, Kay. Very good. Looking for $125. Looking for $125. Looking for $125 right now. I got $125. I got $125. Who give me $25? Looking for $25 extra dollars right now. Who give me $125? $25.
I think it's got a mustard stain.
All right, here we go. Custom tie. I got $100 right now. Who give me $110? Who give me $110? Look for $110. Going once at $100. Going twice at $100. Sold, Kay, right there for $100. Very nicely done. Now that was a quick $250 raise for the men's club.
I don't have anyone put this tie around their neck. So we are going to auction it again, and I want somebody to be, I'm going to give that $100 to the club,
but I want someone else to meet that 100 so they get another 100. Come on.
Who will step up for $100? Who will step up for $100?
My tie back. Hey, I need 20 bucks to get it back. 80 bucks.
Who will loan the judge $20 right there? There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we just raised $350. How about that? Very nicely done. Judge Raleigh, thank you very much. Ronnie Dane, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, excellent. Thank you very much. Where's our treasurer? Tim, where are you at? This is money goes to you. It's all cash, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the very end except for one thing. We have not heard from Santa Claus, the man himself. And we have Santa in the house. Did you know that? If you want to hear from Santa, say, I do. I do. Excellent. Richard, would you please come forward? Because Richard, you know, he has a lot of connections. And Richard Dodson is known as Mr. Santa Claus to all his friends because he gives and gives, all right? Jerry Mann says, I don't know how I got that name because that's far from the reality, right?
Wasn't on the golf course.
Before Richard, by the way, before Richard takes over here, I want to recognize two wonderful people who have come into our meeting a little bit late. We have in our house tonight, we have State Representative Candy Noble. Thank you, Candy, for being here. Very nice. And we have Plano ISD member Angela Powell's in the house. Thank you, Angela. Very nice. Richard, will you please do the honors for Santa Claus himself?
Look forward to it, indeed. You know, Christmas is always special, right? Right. I got to share a little story about growing up here. A lot of y'all don't know, but I was way out in the country. And Christmas was a special, special time of the year. This particular Christmas year, I figured by memory, I was around 10 years old. My sister was 11 or 12, and a younger brother. My daddy spent all afternoon in Western Auto. Now, I don't know if you know what Western Auto is, but that's a country store. Yeah. All right? And so it was very exciting. We went home, and Mother said, y'all be very quiet, be nice, as mothers always do. But we were rowdy out, and she said, go look out the window, watch for Santa. He could come at any time. And Judge, you got to remember, Santa sometimes had to use a car because we didn't have a sled. All right? Mother started to snow for us.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So Mother started making some cookies, and Daddy went out to milk the cows. Now, in those days, you had to milk the cow in the morning and the evening, but you had to take care of your duties. As we were watching out the window, Mark, here came some headlights. Okay, the nearest neighbor was about 2.5 miles, so we knew something was going on. So we were in excitement, and Mother said, get to the bedroom and y'all be quiet, all right? And my older sister were looking through the door, and here came Santa in a big red uniform and put these Christmas presents under the tree. Now we were just overwhelmed, okay? And he left. We ran into the kitchen to tell Mother. And of course my older sister was really sort of saying what was going on. But to her surprise, Daddy was sitting there at the table. And Mother was there preparing the meal. It was a fabulous, fabulous Christmas. But returning to school, Eric, on Monday, all right, I was telling that story to one of the older girls, and she said it had to be a trick. A trick now, you know, something was going on. So I turned around and I looked for my sister. And Keith, I ran as fast as I could to get to your older sister. You got an older sister, right? I said, hey, the older girl said it was a trick. It was a trick. She said, don't worry about it. If it's not, it's real. JJ, it's real. Santa is real. And you know, my sister was right, okay? Today we celebrate Christmas, the spirit of Christmas, the birth of Christmas, Jesus Christ. The second most important thing is to be in the first. So with all that history, I know that we're all interested, Fred, in finding Santa.
Yes.
Is Santa back there?
I think.
Oh, Santa. Some of our friends here this evening has got some special questions. They want to have some magic answers.
We have them for you.
Who's number one? Who's got number 1? Come on, Randy
Yes,
Johnson.
I'm sorry, I'm over here taking a picture.
Yeah, it was Randy.
Okay. One job, just one job to do, gotta do it right. Santa, we must be politically correct. When are you going to change greetings from Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays?
When the North Pole melts!
All right, who's got number 2? Okay, dear.
Okay. Santa, have you considered moving your sleigh to oil and gas?
We looked at modifying the sleigh, drew up plans, went to the pump and said, hell no, Brandon!
All right, who's got number 3? Third inquiry.
All right, Santa, we know that Rudolph and all the reindeer are getting old. We're just wondering when you're going to retire them and get an all-electric sleigh.
My sleigh is powered by inspiration, my friend. Love and joy is what drives my sleigh and the reindeer.
Very good.
And as soon as we can find AOC, we're going to run right over.
Another inquiry here. Who's number 4?
Hey, Santa, I'm worried. How are you going to deliver all those presents without spreading COVID all over the world?
No worries, young lady. I've been at the North Pole in isolation.
One more inquiry here. Who's number 5 on our list?
Okay, Santa. Will Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and Chuck Schumer receive a good Christmas this year?
Well, that's complicated. AOC has her Green New Deal, but likes driving carbon-based vehicles. So coal will be in her list. Nancy likes to go to the beauty shop during lockdown and no mask, so charcoal for her, so she can self-soothe at home and rub it on her face. And I swear Chuck Schumer is gay, so I have nothing.
Another interesting concern. Who's number 6 in our yard?
That's me. Santa, why do you have a naughty and nice list? Are we all equal?
Life is neither equal nor fair. There will be no trophies for everybody.
And number 7, who's on our list?
Santa, how are you able to give all of those presents to everyone?
Oh, that's real easy too. We're Republicans. We aren't funded by the government.
And another inquiry here. Who's got number 8?
Santa, what is your favorite place to deliver presents and toys?
Your home, your home, your home, your home, your home, and your home. God bless you all. Ho, ho, ho.
Who's got number 9?
Santa, what's your view on artificial intelligence?
Well, it's a problem, all right, because it's artificial, right? And it beats us in chess. It beats us in Jeopardy. Can't figure that one out. And poker. But I sure know this, it can't tell a joke, so to hell with it.
Any lasting remarks, Santa, to finish our evening?
I do. I do. The woke are asleep, but Christ is strong in Christmas. And so we will not allow anybody on this planet to take Christ out of Christmas.
Amen.
And that's my message.
Amen.
Now that was awesome. One more round of applause. Politically correct is not at the Collin County Republican Men's Club. All right, well, folks, it has been a wonderful, wonderful evening. We thank you for all being here this evening, and I just want to make sure that you have an opportunity to be a part of this organization. The Collin County Republican Men's Club, for more than 50 years, has been providing Republican values, strong conservative ideas, and a lot of labor for Republican candidates in Collin County. Our next meeting will be on January 20th, 2022. That's next month. And by the way, I'm very pleased to let you know that the Men's Club has scored another scoop. That evening, January 20th. It's always the third Thursday of the month. Just remember that. Don't plan anything else but being here third Thursday of the month. We're going to have Collin County-wide, the first time, will be presented the 2022 Victory Campaign, laying out all of the specifics and details about the Republican Victory 2022 campaign for Victory 2022, laid out by our new chairman, Abraham George, next month. So plan on being here for that. It's going to be awesome. Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful time. Thank you for being here. There's plenty more food available. Take your time and communicate. Thank you all.
I'm in the same boat.
Sorry, I took another time at
Good to see you again.
Take care. I got the tie. Congratulations.
Very good.
The year is over.
One day I saw statues of the soldiers in Washington, D.C. right before Lincoln Memorial. And I saw the sign beside, freedom is not free. Then I realized what it was all about. I began to check out the record. I learned 40,000 young men from America died in South Korea 70 years ago. Another 100,000 were wounded, but their sacrifice was not in vain. We can show the greatest comparison, what happened in the southern part of South Korea, and after that, what comparing to what is remaining in North Korea now. My group of people always try to teach the young people we can never thank enough to the United States, not only for saving us from communism, not only for helping us to develop economically, but also for like bringing in the Christian values to South Korea. Now South Korea, that when I was born in 1963, GDP per capita was $72. Now it's $32,000. So economy size, number 10 in the world. So Americans can be proud of it. And this Christian group that I belong to, they made a Christian orchestra and choir. They got the grand prizes in international competitions in Italy, Switzerland, and Germany. They have their flagship performance, Christmas cantata. It shows all three acts. First act is opera on the nativity. In the middle of opera, one world-class tenor is singing, "If Jesus asking for his room in your heart, will you still say to him, no room?" And there's another act that is musical on the household, family unity between parents and children. And the third act is Handel's oratorio, Messiah. And there are three encore songs. The last song that they sing is always God Bless America. When they sing this God, I am so sorry that I couldn't show it this evening. Most of the people shed their tears. Today I came a bit late, so I was asking for time to Chairman Myers. I would like to hand out some specialties, basically free show, but there are $20 tickets for the special honored people, patrons. I'd like to give anyone who wants it, I would like to distribute that ticket free to all of you. I would like to invite all of you to show what you have done 70 years ago. And we would like to show you, this is what the blood of the young man that was shed in the land of South Korea has borne as a fruit after all. I really would like to thank you again as one of the Koreans.
Did you enjoy it?